going on, you guys? My name is Rayge, and we are back today with a Dark Dimension 7 and Gear Tier 19 progression update. I've been meaning to do this every couple of weeks because I like to see kind of how the gear is trending, as well as, give the new activities and so forth, how that's going to be impacting, obviously, the gear and our entry into Dark Dimension 7. It's fun to keep track, and now that Dark Dimension 7 is live too, this is great to just, have that correlation and see how long it's going to be taking us. So let's get right started, guys. First and foremost, in case you have missed the boat on this, the gold store and as well as raid store is basically where you can acquire a crimson gear. You do need to be participating in the highest levels of incursion 2, so that way you can get these rewards. But now there have been added newly the ranked rewards for raids upon every 2 weeks in the season. So we're going to be getting that first payout actually this coming weekend, so that's going to obviously add up here. This has not been factored into the analysis as it's still a very fresh season here. Okay, guys, so Dark Dimension 7, how long is it going to take, and are the gold supply store and raids good enough? That's really the big question we're trying to answer with each of these update videos. We saw in last time that it was not even close, and now we get a couple more weeks here to analyze in terms of the data and what we've acquired in our account. And thankfully, there's a really nice anniversary week 4 reward payout that actually gave us, north of 30 plus orbs. So definitely it was nice to just add that infusion of crimson gear. But we all understand this is a marathon and not a sprint, and we're going to be needing to slowly work our way towards the progression here, especially me working on my 5 first characters to go into this. They're definitely super excited to get that content out the moment I can actually enter into Dark Dimension 7. So guys, if you recall, this is kind of my 1 week update here, and I use Robbie Reyes as an example because he's likely going to be a guaranteed character coming in with me initially. So we're taking a look at specifically just the Mystic gear. The 1 week update, as you can see, we basically acquired about 262 catalysts from just going through the store and the raid orbs, 72 origin gear, 13 mini unique pieces, and as well 2 miasma uniques. What does it look like now in terms of a 3 week update? Well, here you go. 3 weeks later, guys, I can say that we jumped up quite a bit with the catalyst, and a couple things, right? The calendar login, but as well, just getting those additional resources and materials from the anniversary week 4 was pretty notable. We also jumped quite a bit in the origin gear, so that was a very notable increase there. Great to see that kind of output, but again, there's still lots of work to be had here, and we're seeing that kind of slowly dwindle. But that's why you got to manage as best as you can. A big pain point, obviously, right now is going to be the mini uniques, and as well, as you can see, even a couple weeks later, I only acquired 3 more pieces than the week 1 update here for miasma gear. That's definitely going to be something we need to hone in on, and every time you see it in store, it's costly for 800,000 per piece, but I mean, you need 18 of these uniques to bring up any of these tunes to gear tier 19, so something to be mindful of. We're going to need to be paying closer attention to that, obviously, and that's why we're doing this sort of analysis, so we understand what's at hand here and what our attention should be on when we're working towards these tunes and bringing them into the Dark Dimension 7 for Mephisto. So finally, guys, we got my gear tier 19 analysis table here just to summarize it all for you guys. Again, I chose Robbie because he's basically a guaranteed lock. I can't see that changing. He's going to be needed in City, but as well, having him in the initial nodes, you're going to be getting some value, especially with how he is very, very powerful and overtuned in Dark Dimension game mode. He truly shines in that setting, so we want to be bringing up a tune of his stature like that. Now, Robbie, he typically costs 470 origin gear pieces, 880 catalysts, 108 pieces of the mini uniques, and then finally 18 miasmas. As I noted earlier, the 1 week update, we got a big jump up, as you can see, going from 72 to 426 origin gear pieces. So this was pretty big. I also had more focus on just honing in on these materials in the supply store because of the fact that obviously it's 200,000 for 10 pieces. It's not that expensive, and you're going to need a lot of them to bring up many of your tunes, right? So it's a nice kind of trade-off. As you can see there, the difference there is the 144 that we still need to actually bring them up, but we're getting close. We're getting close to our first character here. Catalyst-wise, we're actually good now. Before we were kind of worried, but now you can see here we're north already of this first tune, so we can start working towards our next character for the catalyst, which is awesome to see there. Mini uniques, this is a big pain point. 400,000 for 1 piece. We're going to need to hone in on this a little better because you can see kind of where the differential is growing, and then we have already discussed how the miasma is looking. So keep in mind, guys, this 3 weeks update here does not include any of the new raid season update. So obviously once that payout comes, we're going to be seeing a very sizable jump in the gear tier 19 main inventory update here that I have for you guys. But I'll keep you guys up to date. Short and sweet for you all. Just wanted to give you a heads up of where we're at kind of in terms of the Dark Dimension 7 progression, but as well I'll probably highlight in my next video who my next character I'm going to be focused on, so that way we're going to be just building a roadmap here in terms of which characters and tunes and how we're doing in terms of the inventory. So I'll leave you guys with this, right? Last but not least, my findings, right? Always just buy everything in the store if you can afford it, if you got the gold. It looks like the pain points obviously coming from Origin gear, especially mini uniques, and we all know we need the uniques for bringing up these tunes, especially if you have multiple tunes sharing the same kind of unique. You're going to be wanting to focus in and honing in on that. It looks like right now it's roughly about 1.5 tunes per month. We're pretty close to Robbie outside of those notable variances I've noted, but yeah, 5 tunes in 6 months I think is very reasonable. And other than that, really just focusing on the Kraken and Whale show that we have right now, because with Dark Dimension 7, this is live, and as you guys can see, I think at the time of recording, not a single one of these players have finished actually the first node of the city section. So just something to be mindful of, guys. We know it's going to be a rat race here, but it's crazy to see how much harder this is than the previous Dark Dimensions that we've seen. So which is exciting, right? More of a resource management aspect, but great to see that this is going to be a huge, meaningful challenge. And again, rewarding a powerful and meta-changing toon in Mephisto. So cannot wait to get started. I'll keep you guys up to date. Do appreciate your time. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.